I don't know what happened, Simon.
It just started to go a bit weird, didn't it? Yeah.
The presentation or anything like. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I wish I could offer an explanation, but I'm innocent. I didn't touch anything.
Yes, here are my hands. Look,
yeah,
not
I
touching
didn't touch anything.
Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, there we are. It seems to be swapping back and forth. Yes, yeah, that's better. Oh dear, that's funny. But yeah, our gig on Saturday was really nice. We were playing at a local primary school in my village, the village I live in, which we do most years, and they have a kind of big summer fair and stuff. And so it was beautiful, beautiful day, sunshine, and we had a proper stage and things. They built a sort of proper stage out on the edge of the. So in amongst the sort of melee of stalls and stuff going on. So Dave and I've videoed quite a lot of it on my phone. So I might put some of it up. See, put a song or two of it up. See how quickly I get blocked. If I put up "Take It Easy" by the Eagles,
does that worry you that you perhaps won't sound as good on a phone as you are live? Because I know that some guys don't want to do that, and I can understand.
No, that's true. And it's fine. No, I'm not that bothered about it, to be honest. I've listened to it on the phone, and it actually sounded all right. It didn't sound too bad. Inevitably, you would go and mix it if you could, kind of thing. Bring a few things out, a few things down, whatever. But actually, as a reasonable representation of us fooling about, I think it's probably fine. So I'll probably find, maybe not the Eagles. maybe that's a bad group to put up, but. Yeah, it was. Hey, Kubrick Lovers 72. We're back. Let's see if it works still. So it was lovely. Out in the open air, and we played quite a lot. Actually, we played quite a lot of songs. Played sort of, because we would get basically what you do is you get 15 to 20 minute slots. So you do 3 or 4 songs, then something happens. Like the kids do some sort of display or a maypole dancing or something. So what you should have at a C of E school, maypole dancing, good pagan thing. A C of E school, that's very good. And so then they get off. So then you have another 20 minutes, half an hour to fill, and then something else happens. So you direct people. So it's very relaxed and very, very calm. Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, beautiful. So my gig on Saturday was very good.
Yeah, awesome. So how many songs did you do in your gig, Simon?
Oh, we probably did 20.
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah, probably did 20 songs, which is it's quite good in batches of sort of 4 kind of thing. 5 batches of 4, 5, that sort of thing. I think I might have a couple of longer clips than that on my Kubrick lover. Andrew's the Fender guru. I am. If I write something in the chat, you can find me because it'll take you to.
Yeah.
Channel. Sorry. Yeah. If you now hit my name, you should be able to go to my channel. One of us is Fender guru, and one of us isn't.
Anyway, and that's Kubrick Lovers channel, which I've subbed to. Back a bit. Oh, can you? Yeah, that's you, Kubrick.
I'll find him.
Yeah. So anyone who subs to me, Simon, I just sub back.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Slightly depending on who they are. I've had a couple of people who kind of, you go to their channels and they're nothing to do with guitars or anything.
No. Yeah, well, there was a couple of Russian girls that wanted me to subscribe.
I get quite a lot of that on Instagram.
Yes.
So keep away from them.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm sure they were all political too. They were political Russians.
All Russians are political. Yes, it goes without saying, doesn't it?
So,
dear.
So when's your next gig?
Well, hopefully, probably in the autumn, probably September. We've got a couple of gigs in September. So Dave's away, my bass player. He's away. He has no children, so he can go away not in school holidays, which is a lot cheaper. And then I'm on holiday for the last week in July and the first week in August.
Yeah.
And then, and then it's kind of school holidays and stuff, so not much happens in the school holidays. So we're reconvening into September, which is fine. That's good. What I'd like to do is go back and talk a bit more about the Oxbox thing, because I think we just got into an interesting point about the Oxbox, where I discovered that using it with my combo with hardwired speaker in is not going to work.
No.
Which I think is really interesting. Yeah.
So what you have to do is you have to have a detachable speaker and a plug so that you can plug into the amp. But you could probably do that, Simon, if you've got a bit of electrical ability on your amp. But it's fascinating. It's I've had it for 2 weeks. I haven't probably spent as much time with it as I should do. Yesterday I managed to spend about 4 or 5 hours just going through the different settings. I haven't programmed anything or loaded anything in, Simon, that's uniquely my own. I've just gone through a lot of the presets that they give you. And United Audio are famous for having some presets, so they're pretty good.
Yeah. So it goes. So I have to get this clear in my head. So it goes from your amp out, the speaker out goes into the aux box,
yes,
and then the aux box goes into the computer. Yeah.
No.
US.
No.
Go on.
So what you have to do on the aux box is it's got a wireless Wi-Fi. So what it does is you have to log your Wi-Fi into the aux box, and then you have your iPad, and you hook your iPad into your aux box, and so you control the aux box.
Right.
Actually, if I turn the aux box on.
I see. So it goes from the aux box into your iPad. So you've got a USB to iPad thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's trying to find. Okay, and so that's So you fiddle with that there, and whatever fiddling you do there affects the microphones and the sound and everything that you get through your monitor, but it's going through your amp.
Yeah. So is that connected to the aux box via Wi-Fi? Because they're on your Wi-Fi. They're on your Wi-Fi. They're not connected by a cable.
No.
Okay. So from your iPad, where does it go then? How do you get it out to speakers?
So the aux box, on the back of the aux box, it has 1/4 inch output.
Yeah.
So you take your two, a left and right hand output, and you take that out, and you can plug that into your monitor if you want, or into an audio device, which is what I've done, because I want to.
Right. So you have to buy an audio device, and then you take it to your computer and play it through your computer speakers. No.
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to. The only reason why I'm playing mine through the audio device is because I want to record directly on my computer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But you can just take from your aux box. You can just take your outputs out and plug them straight into a PA.
Yeah.
Or a monitor.
Yeah. Get that. Yeah. Right. So. Okay, so I'm sorry. So how do you get it from the aux box to your computer? You Wi-Fi it? Do you sort of mean? If you want to play it on your computer, so you're going to record on your computer.
Yes.
So, but obviously you want to hear it. I know you can put it on headphones, I suppose.
Your headphones.
So are you recording on your iPad? Are you recording on something else?
No, you record it on whatever computer program you want, but you don't
Right.
need to have a computer.
No, to make a noise. I
make a
understand
noise.
that.
Yeah.
I understand. So how do you get from your aux box to the computer?
Okay, so what I did is my cables from the aux box
Yeah.
are linked into this Focusrite.
The Focusrite. Yeah.
So it's linked into that there, into the
Right.
front of the Focusrite, which is the left and right.
Yeah.
And then on the back of the Focusrite, I've got two more cables which go out to my monitors, my stereo monitors. But the reason why I need this is because this has got a USB to my computer, so I can record.
Yeah. So in effect, could you not have the speaker lead to the speakers, but go straight into your computer and then listen to it on the monitor on your computer?
You can, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So I understand. So you got the aux box, the Focusrite, and then the computer. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, apologies for my stupidity. But morning, Gussie Wells. How you doing?
no, it's not your stupidity. It's my understanding, because this is all new to me. So you're right. If you had your audio device going straight into your computer, you're fine. You don't need to have monitors.
Yeah. Or an external speaker of any description or whatever. Yeah. Right, I understand. Yeah, so that was my tricky bit, and you understand, it's kind of like that simple. What is actually the signal chain to get you to where you might want to go? I can understand the speakers bit, out to a PA or out to, your whatever, but yeah, getting it to the computer so you can record on the computer. Yeah, via the Focusrite with a USB connection. Yeah, that works like that, and then obviously you can play it out and you think.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And then you've got on the iPad, various speaker cabs simulations.
That's correct. Yeah. So you control your aux box and your adjustments to where you want the microphone or what cabinet, all from your iPad.
Right. Gussie says Focusrite 212, 2i2. Which Focusrite is it?
The 2i2?
The 2i2. There we are, Gussie. The 2i2. Right, okay. So you've got cab simulations, and then you've got where you can position the microphones.
Yep.
Yeah?
And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal, Simon.
Do you hear the difference? Placing the microphones in different places and stuff?
Mate, I'm as deaf as
Post.
And I have to tell you, I've gone kind of full circle, because my first real serious kind of decent amp I bought about 10 years ago, Simon, was a Vox Valvetronics amp which had modeling on it.
Right, yeah.
And I bought the Jam Vox little unit that they had about 7 years ago because it had modeling. But I got influenced by a lot of people saying, this modeling stuff is crap. If you're a blues man, if you're a rock and roller, you've got to have an amp. So I bought a few amps. But this system here that I've got now is kind of the best of both worlds. You've got the amp, which is brilliant, because we know what amp can do. But you have the facility now to module, to change.
Yeah. So do you think I can see the studio application for this, and you can, as you say, choose your speaker simulation, choose where the speaker, and then obviously recording becomes particularly fantastic. Do you think it has a live application? Would you take it out live and use it at all?
Man, it would be fantastic, because I remember 18 months ago, 2 years ago, Carl's sister had a bit of a get-together. So I took my Vibrolux, and I remember we were playing. We were just mucking around playing, and I had my OCD pedal. And when you play indoors, and you'll know this because you gig outside, when you play indoors in a small environment, whatever settings you've got goes out the window when you're out when you're out in the open, and what you hear, just you don't like it. It's just like I'm not hearing what I'm used to.
Yes. Although, yeah, that's weird, isn't it? It's I've just when you were saying that, I was thinking about Tom Morello, the guy from Rage Against the Machine,
yeah,
who set up his amp in 1989 with settings, has never changed them since.
Yeah.
Regardless of room, situation, of any description, that is right. That's it. That's what it's doing, and that's the end of it, which I think is amazingly kind of.
But the good thing about
funny.
this system, Simon, is that because it has an attenuation part to it, I can get that a little bit of that crunch that we all love without necessarily using a distortion pedal, which sucks the tone sometimes.
Yeah.
At a level that's not going to be too loud, because a Vibrolux at 8 or 9 is bloody loud.
Yeah, the neighbours will be round, won't they, if you start playing it at 9?
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me the same thing with your PV. It's loud.
Yeah, we played open air gig, and I only had it on 4. I'm not on 8, and could I say it goes up to 12? But but I wasn't playing on 8 because we're outdoors or anything like that. I'm very conscious that when you play live, that wherever you are, one of the things I've discovered is that wherever you are, you play to the setup you've got. So whatever in our case, we have backing tracks and stuff with the drums on it. You set those at a level. That's the level you play at, and it doesn't matter if you're playing at Wembley Stadium or at the Scout Hut. For us, it's the same thing. If people want to hear it, then they have to come. If you sense,
What I particularly like about this, and I've thought about you half a dozen times when I was playing through my Oxbox, because a couple of shows ago, you and I think Gussie were talking in the chat about how you search for a perfect clean tone before you do anything. That's the tone that you look for. And I said to you, well, actually, I'm the opposite way. I like a bit of crunch and then sort of work back that way. But fiddling with this, listening to some of the clean tones, it's wow. I've been missing something.
That's my kind of baseline. Is get a clean tone, bit of reverb, 9, 10 o'clock kind of, 3, 4, that kind of, not loads, but a bit. And that's what I'm looking for. Set up the guitar so that you've got your clean tone, and that sounds really nice. Round and kind of depending on what you're doing, but and then I will kick in, the pedals platform, if you like, can see, but that's what I'm after. And that's, interestingly, whenever I look at guitar demos, particularly guitar demos, that thing about playing clean chords really gives me an idea about what that guitar sounds like. If you say, well, I only ever play with distortion, you put on a distortion, to me, what you get is the sound of the distortion pedal into that amp. And that's much less distinctive than the guitar on its own, just clean through into a Fender amp, whatever. It doesn't matter what amp you're playing to. I think as long as you've got a clean, to me that gives a much better idea about what the guitar sounds like. So what the pickups are like, what what it's actually doing dynamically and things. All right, it's fine, but I understand, but so many guitar demos, they go, right, I'm putting it through this, and I've got this on, and then and then I do a massive, great guitar solo. I don't know about you, but I feel a lot as though that doesn't really tell me what the guitar sounds like. I'm not really what I get an idea is that somebody's got a load of effects on something, and they're playing beautifully, playing really well, but it doesn't really tell me what the guitar sounds like. Mm-hmm. And I have no, specifically against a sort of, and we all have it, I guess, a bass line in my head. I've got a bass line, sound in my head, what it sounds like, which is what I've got, what I go playing on guitars through my amp. Clean, because I spend, if you're playing it in a house and stuff like that. Although the PV's got quite a nice second distorted channel where you can turn the volume right down but have the distortion quite a way up, so I can get a very quiet, distorted sound. But I like the fact that, what I want to hear is that, few chords strummed, clean, maybe a bit of reverb is fine, but not with a load of pedals. Because I think the pedals disguise the sound, especially on YouTube, which compresses the sound, disguises the sound of the guitar or the amp even. If you're playing guitars for an amp, you're on a different amp. I think I might be wrong about it. I might be completely wrong, but that's my feeling about it. Is that's what I hear, because that gives me a baseline against which I can then judge what it's like against what I've got. And make some kind of.
What I particularly liked, Simon, and you have to understand that I've never played through decent, good monitors. So when I've gigged, it's always been through an amp. I've never played big big gigs where you've played a decent PA system. So the local blues club here just has an average PA system, but what that does for me, playing live with an amp or playing through an average PA system, is you have to balance your right hand when you're playing. But what I noticed, though, playing through the monitors through this aux box, is it equalized the sound. Does that make sense? So I didn't have to sort of worry too much about what my right hand was doing. It's hard for me to explain.
So it kind of, you mean that thing about playing harder or softer with the plectrum? It kind of equalizes that out.
Yeah.
In an odd way.
Yeah. It's hard for me to explain, but having spoken to Dave,
Dave,
our friend Dave, and he's played in a lot of bands. He was saying, well, actually, that's how the monitors work. So,
yeah.
So that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I think, and going back to your point about playing through PAs, I mean, I've played decent PAs and stuff. And we played last week, a couple of weeks ago, we played in the local rugby club. They had a sort of fundraising barbecue thing. You probably saw a photograph I put up. And we were playing then through a proper PA. Now, what it sounded like out the front was very different to what it sounded like on the stage, and my concentration always is to get the sound I get on the stage, and then the bloke out the front will equalize it, he'll EQ it, to go with the back, so that when you're doing it in the PA, then you've got the balance and you've got the things that sound, and that's a different thing. What you hear out the front is not necessarily what you're hearing on the stage, even in terms of your sound. Wow. He might say, I'm going to take a bit, in terms of the sound for repair, I'm going to take a bit of top off that guitar, or I'm going to put a bit on, I'm going to, just tweak the EQs a bit and stuff like that, which obviously makes a difference to what the audience is hearing, but not what I'm hearing, because obviously I'm hearing my guitar amp, because that becomes a monitor for me.
Yeah.
And, you get some stuff back in it through the monitors. But you're right, the monitors coming back at you on the stage tend to be quite flat. They're not that sort of full EQ thing. So, yeah, but I've that's for them to worry. The front sound is for them to worry about. My own sound is what I want to hear. So then I feel, in some ways, it's a kind of psychological thing. I want to hear what I want to hear. If I'm sounding good, then I play better because I'm happy with the sound. Yeah, Gussie's never played in a band or live at a PA, just in Harry's bedroom. It sounds like the aux box is for you, Gussie. To be honest, it's yeah. Whereas obviously Dave and I have our own PA, and I don't know that the picture I put up of on the stage, the two black things on the other side of our guitar amps is the PA.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, because somehow we've managed to. Well, that Fender PA we've got is a fantastic piece of kit. One of the great things about it is that it you can put it behind you. You can actually so we don't have monitors, because what we hear, because the speakers are either side of our guitar amps, what we hear is the sound that was going out the front, because it goes past us, if you see what I mean. Whereas obviously most PAs, you're putting at the front of the stage, so you don't hear the PA at the front of the stage, and you so you don't hear what's at the front. Whereas obviously Dave and I, because we're doing it ourselves, you want to hear what you're doing. So therefore, and we've never had any feedback issues, oddly. I've got a picture of it here. I don't know if you can see this, but can you see there's my PV guitar amp, yeah? And either side of those little black boxes with the little skinny tower things, yeah? Is that close enough for you to see? Well, that's the PA. And as you can see at the front, we've got that blue box at the front, but there's no monitors. So in effect, everything is coming from the back of the stage. So we get the actual mix from, of what we're actually doing.
Wow.
It's not very... I can zoom in a bit. You can see one of them. Yeah, so you can see one of them there. See, they have. See, you've got the little bass pin at the bottom, and the tall thing is like the tweeters. It's got loads of speakers in it, but it's an amazing piece of kit.
Wow,
for playing with, because it doesn't weigh very much, which is always good. But it gives it sort of, the sound travels amazingly when you're using it. You can stand, to 10 feet away and then stand 30 feet away, and there's no discernible volume loss, which I find very strange, but I'm not really sure how that works. But yeah, so there's that thing of, that's how we do it, because obviously we're doing it ourselves, and that's fine. I think when you get proper band, PA, like we did a couple of weeks ago, somebody's provided a PA for us, and they put a microphone in front of your guitar amp and stuff like that. Then you've got two different things. You've got your sound on stage that you're concentrating on, and you've got the sound which is going out the front, which is what the PA man's doing.
Yeah. So Gussie,
you're right. Sense.
It has it's simulated microphones, and you can change the microphones to a variety of microphones, which is all new to me as well. The position of the microphones, the room, the size of the room as well.
Can you change the size of the room? Can you?
Yeah. So it's yeah. And so what's Kubrick Glover's trying to save some money to buy some gear?
He's trying to go for a trip to Japan. You're well done.
Yeah.
Take a translator, Kubrick.
Yeah, I'm not a gearhead, Simon. I've got a bit of gear, I suppose, and you buy something, because you think it's going to add to your sound. You think it's something that that you think's unique to something that you can do. But I don't have a lot of money either. But I've wasted a lot of money. I've wasted a lot of money buying crap too.
I think I've been relatively lucky in that I probably can say I haven't wasted a lot of money. I've only ever had 3 amps, I think. I had a Carlsbro solid state amp when I started, just to kind of get me into it. And then I bought the high watt 100 watt, which is going from the sublime to the ridiculous to the sublime, pretty much. Although that Carlsbro amp was fine. But, to me, so much of it is in your guitar and in your fingers, how you play, what you play,
Yep.
And the best players, can get their sound out of almost anything, really. And I think it's really impressive that if they can do that. And that's really what. So I spent a lot of time, as you can see, my kit's all old. Even that GT3 that I played, I've had for 20 years. I've got some pedals as well. I've got an old Marshall Blues driver, which is apparently worth quite a lot of money. But
speaking of high watt amps, did you read Did you read that David Gilmour sold his Black Strat? Is that true? He got $3 million for it?
Yeah. He got 17 million pounds for his guitar collection from Christie's. Astonishing. Yeah, yes, quite astonishing amount of money he got. And yes, the Black Strat, the one he's played all those famous solos on, was $3.1 million, I think, something like that. It's incredible. Yeah, he made so the environmental organisation that he's donating all the money to, he's going to get a check for 17 million quid.
So Blackie just got under $1 million. Blackie got what, about 800 or 900 or something.
Something like that, under $1 million. Yeah, this completely blew it away. It's a completely different order of magnitude. Yeah, 3.2 million on the. Amazing amount of money that they raised, and obviously, apparently the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, I'm going for, is bought it for 3 point. But yeah. I mean the.
So a guitar like this, Simon, a Fender Stratocaster.
Yeah, but what's amazing about that Black Strat is it's a parts caster.
Yeah.
It's made for. It's not a proper. It's a 1969 one, so it's a blooming CBS one, but it's not even. It's not even a. It's not even as like a 58 Strat or anything like that. So in terms of the Fender historic kind of thing, it's not from the classic era.
No.
It's from the. It's. I think it's a 69 Strat. My memory serves me.
Hey, Chris.
And it, yeah. So amazing kind of, yeah.
And he's donating a whole lot to that environmental group.
Yeah. So 69 Strat fetched £3.1 million, not dollars, pounds. I think is the Martin, the D, the one that raised over £1 million, I think. I'm gonna have to get, I've heard him say a couple of times, don't worry, Chad, still got some guitars. I haven't sold them all. Sold quite a few of them, but not them all. Yeah, but amazingly kind of altruistic thing to do as well, which I find amazing. That see if I can find out. So what's amazing, the 6-string Martin D35, which he played "Wish You Were Here" on "Shine On You Crazy Diamond," an estimate of $10,000 to $20,000 went for $1,095,000. The 12-string went for $531,000. The white Strat, the number one or whatever it is, the one that had 001, 002, that sold for $1,815,000.
What did he get for the £1.5 million? What did he get for the Jimi Hendrix guitar strap that he uses?
I don't know. I haven't seen that. I don't know. Was he selling the Jimi Hendrix guitar strap separately? Was he?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you're just joking.
But that's got to be worth a couple of million.
That's easily, yeah. But in terms of these things, because of what they are and who's played them and stuff like that. I mean, it's yes, the Black Strat sold for $3,975,000, just over £3.1 million, which is the problem is it's fine, but I hope that the man from the Indianapolis Colts is not just going to put it into a glass case and go, look what I've got, kind of thing. I always think about guitars that they should be played. They absolutely should be played and not put in glass cases, really.
I think Gussie's asking some really good questions here. So if you look at the $3 million that Gilmour got, what would Page's Les Paul get? There's going to be some phenomenal figures out there.
Well, there are several guitars, aren't there, that actually you think to yourself, if they came up for sale, I mean, you think about Eddie Van Halen's, Frankenstein, that would probably fetch a lot of money, given these things, because it's a historic instrument. Look at that. Gussie, I am your 1,000th subscriber. I just subscribed to Gussie, and he was on 999 subscribers. So I've just subscribed to that. Means hopefully it says 1,000. Gussie, tell me it says 1,000 on your thing. You'll get a plaque from YouTube. It would thrill me no end. But I think that that he's right. That Jimmy Page's guitars.
Can you see it there?
There he is. Does it say 1,000?
1,001.
1,001. Somebody else has done that. Hope I was 1,000. It said 999 when I subscribed.
Awesome channel. Awesome channel.
For the Gussie, for the sake of, I'm claiming that I'm your 1,000th subscriber.
Yeah.
And I'll fight anyone who says differently.
It's documented on our channel.
As documented, yes. I don't know who the 1,001 was, but good morning, Janice. Good morning, Chris Link. I hope you're both well.
Good day, Janice.
There you are, Gussie. Hopefully, you get a plaque from YouTube for your 1,001th subscriber. You can send me the check later. But I think Gussie's right that that those, you can think of guitars, couldn't you? That when they come up for auction, that people are going to spend a lot of money on them, and it's amazing that kind of exponential growth. If you think, as you say, when was Clapton's? When did he sell off his guitar collection?
2004.
I was going to say 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That's inflation for you. Blackie's reached, as you say, 800,000 or 900,000, that sort of thing.
He sold Blackie for money. That cherry red Gibson that he sold a lot of gear, and it all went Crossroads.
That's right. Yeah. Amazingly, let's have a look. Oh no. 1999, 20 years ago.
We've got Tone Bolts in here too.
Oh no, it's 2004 and 1999. So, morning, Tone Bolts. How are you doing? Checks in about Tone Bolts. Oh look, and our old friend Mr. John Smith has turned up as well.
Can you identify the guitars that were stolen?
Did you? Who's it? Somebody on my Facebook feed put up New Guitar Day and put up a picture of Dave Gilmour's black Strat, which I thought was really funny. He's like, look what I bought for not much money or a lot. Does it say how much? Oh, anyway, I'll look how much they went for. So his Martins, for instance, in the 2004 sale, his 1939 Martin 00042, which he played on Unplugged, got $791,000.
Wow.
So yes, much more in the sort of the 1,000, 40,000, 50,000, rather than the millions right now. But I think if you sold that Unplugged Eric Clapton Martin, you'd be looking at getting well over $1 million for it, wouldn't you?
What would Keith Richards get for McCabe or
McCabe?
Yeah.
And completely, yeah. What would you get for that? So his ES335, what did that sell for? $847,500. So, which was then a world record for a Gibson guitar.
Okay, so I reckon Keith's Telecaster, he'd get at least 4 million, 3.5, 4 million for that, wouldn't he? Because that's iconic.
Completely, it would be in the it would be in the millions, wouldn't it? For sure, because there is provenance, and I presume it is actually one guitar, not a it's not a sort of parts cast or anything like that. It is one guitar.
No, I don't think it is a parts caster. But if you look at it from this point of view, this is no disrespect to Pink Floyd or Dave Gilmour, but how many songs, classic songs, were played on that Stratocaster versus a lot of songs that were recorded and played and songs constructed on with that Telecaster?
Oh no, completely. I mean, it's it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? If you played, Honky Tonk Women or Brown Sugar or something like that. Yep. To me, it's exactly the same level as playing Wish You Were Here, Comfortably Numb, or something like that. They're iconic songs. Dark Side of the Moon. If you played on all of those things, they are. Sorry, apologies if you can hear it rustling in the background. My daughter's eating her breakfast.
It's okay, Simon. You just I understand.
Carry on. That's fine. It's fine. That's right. Yes, I think that's an interesting point that John Smith makes about Eric, Keith, Peter Green / have all had famous guitars stolen and not recovered.
Well, Keith had 8 guitars and 1 bass stolen from Nalcote.
Mm-hmm. Really? How about a famous guitar tour? We get a few minutes with each guitar. Yeah, Chris, I could see that happening. I could see somebody, buying a load of guitar or organising that. It's a bit like the where's the guitar exhibition in the New York Museum right now? What is it? The Guggenheim or something? No, I'm making that up. Museum of Modern Art? I can't remember where it is, but
it's the Museum of Modern Art because
the Museum of Modern
our friend Carlos posted some pics, didn't he, of Clapton Strat?
Yes, and obviously lots of people have posted Eddie Van Halen's Frankenstrat, haven't they? Frankenstrat? Yeah. I think has Prince got a guitar there and stuff? I think there's maybe a Prince guitar and stuff. I don't know who else is there, but yeah, there. But an amazing amount of money going to obviously Dave Gilmour says climate change is our number one thing. Got to focus on. Never mind. So we need to focus on it. And here's a lot of money to focus on it, which I think is amazing. But interestingly, kind of in keeping with with the kind of old hippie thing, isn't it? If you think about Dave Gilmour, Pink Floyd comes out of that hippie era. The old hippie would donate to a green, wouldn't he? An environmental cause like that. So hats off to him. I think that's didn't just keep the money for himself, gave it to sold the guitars to be played, A, and B, gave the money to a cause he believes in. Oh, fair enough.
Well, yeah, I think because it gets to a stage. If you look at Tom Petty, for example, he passed away, and now his daughters are fighting his wife over his estate and what his image, and some of them I hear now want to flick off some of his guitars and stuff like that, and that's just
money brings out the best in us, doesn't it? Not.
Yeah. So I kind of agree with you, Simon. You good on Dave Gilmour because of his guitars, and he's done with them what he wants. Rather than have his kids if he's got kids or
he's got kids. Yeah. Although I think he's probably got all that sorted out. But yeah, I think it's that to pass it on is the right thing to do, and. He obviously felt comfortable about doing it. I'm sure he doesn't need the money. I absolutely certainly doesn't need the money, which is interesting.
No, not at all.
Who's your friend?
That's Pepper.
Pepper. Oh, right. Named after the guitar hack. Not really.
World famous. You're world famous.
Kubrick lover. It is the one he used for Dark Side of the Moon. I don't know about Medal. Medal maybe a bit. Medal's when was Medal? Medal might pre-69, isn't it?
Yeah.
He didn't get his 69 Strat until 71. So
that's right.
It's certainly on Dark Side of the Moon, but it's not on Medal. I don't think. I put money on it not being on Medal, which obviously played something else. Another Strat. It's the Strat man.
Well, he had a Browning type Strat too, didn't he?
Did he as well? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sure he's got. Well, he had the red one, didn't he? He had
Yes.
the 0001 one, and he had, I'm sure, and the black one. I'm sure he's got quite a lot of Strats, probably some very nice ones too, but he just hasn't sold.
Keith Richards apparently has got 3,000 guitars.
Yeah, that's just madness, isn't it? It's what some of them have never been played, probably, or not played. You know. I'm sure he doesn't get them all out, does he? Bring round guitar number 942, 2006. We'll play them. See what they are.
Yeah.
His guitar tech will be having a lot of fun with that. Dog, are you all right?
She's going to the vets tomorrow.
Oh dear, that's never good. Don't tell her.
She so she won't become a mummy.
Yeah, and that's a good idea. Yeah. So, can we before I have to leave and do? Can we? What are your thoughts on the latest Gibson debacle? I gotta go for this. I think this is fun.
Look, I got a notification from a guy that we all know. Priv Tricker used to be his account. He's James, and he's an American, and he does a lot of lessons. James, he's very good, and he alerted me to the debate. You know, where this guy was saying, that you guys buying rip-offs or knockoffs. You know, shame on you, and you know. Bizarre rant.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Mark Ignatius, he did the video, and but it's not his words, that's Gibson Corporation words, yeah. Somebody, people in Gibson have decided that, and to be honest, I don't really understand why. I mean, Fender have tried for years to copyright the body shapes and failed. I think that Gibson tried with PRS, failed. You have to say, there are certain things like the Dean, they're suing Dean guitars for copyright, and you say, well, the Dean's Flying V guitar has been out for 40 years.
Yes,
he really go after 40 years and go, that's mine. I mean, I just think that they're shooting themselves in the foot. What they need to concentrate on is building the best guitars they can, because everyone wants a Gibson Les Paul. Let's face it, I've got a Chapman that looks like a Les Paul, but you know what? It's not a Les Paul, and it'll never be a Les Paul. And if I could afford it, I would buy a Les Paul, because it's one of the three iconic guitars that I can think of. And I think that actually they should stop fooling around in the legal department and get on with actually making really good quality instruments, and focusing on that and competing in a marketplace rather than, I mean, I thought one that I thought was a bit ridiculous, really, as I say, closing the stable door after the horse has bolted about 30 years ago. But the other thing I thought is, I thought about it in terms of car manufacturers. I mean, the amount of cars that are bloody same, don't they? Same kind of grills. And it's like nobody in the car manufacturing is going, that looks like mine. I think I better go and sue them. Do they?
Yeah.
Just get on with making the best cars they can and competing in the marketplace with, price and spec and all of that. I think Gibson should be getting on with doing that and not annoying guitar people by I think superfluous stuff. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's what my feeling about it is, that they've just they started off blades of publicity, all tremendous goodwill. I think J.C. Curley is a good appointment because he comes from another heritage brand.
Yep.
I mean, he comes from Levi's. Levi's make jeans. Who else makes jeans? Loads of other people. But I'd never heard of Levi's suing people because they, their jeans look like Levi's kind of thing. I'm sure they have counterfeit issues, and I'm not including counterfeit issues in this.
Yeah, I think
things that say Gibson on the headstock that are not Gibson's, fine. But a Dean or a PRS or something, a single cut PRS. Oh, come on, guys, we can tell the difference between a PRS and a Gibson. Les Paul, face facts. It's an iconic instrument, and it's I can't. It's I don't see the point of it myself. I think it's a blind alley. I know the Dean Court thing has been that's been in the works for a couple of years. Gibson have been muttering about it for a couple of years. So it's the old regime, but I think the new regime need to put a stop to it, not put a start to it. Apparently, I don't know if you saw. I saw the Tone King was, as ever, informative and interesting about it, and he made it. His point about it was that where they'd actually filed the suit against Dean, which is in Texas, place in Texas, where basically it's not a judge that makes the judgment. They have a jury. So basically, Dean and Gibson will have a jury to decide. 12 good men and women true kind of thing. Decide. And they were saying that actually that makes a difference to the judgment, because the judge, I think in the past with Fender and everybody else, it's been the judge who's made a judgment about whether their unique style, shapes of bodies and things like that. Whereas actually, I think that this is with a jury, and I think that's one of their sort of strategies is to have a jury decide.
I think this could backfire
not
for
a judge.
I think this could be a catastrophe.
I agree. Well, do you not think that it's already backfired for Gibson? Have you seen any? I haven't seen any videos of anybody coming out going, great idea, Gibson. The thing to do is to go out and, no, everybody that I've seen across the board is going, what are you doing? Really?
Yeah.
And I think, it ranges from kind of, obviously, outright hostility. Have you seen some of the memes? Did you see that? There's a fantastic Mark Ignacy meme where with the Monty Python thing. Have you seen that one?
No.
Where there's him saying, how do we know they're counterfeit or something? Or how do we know it's because it's made of wood? I don't know. That's from is it it's the Holy Grail, isn't it? When witches, so how do we know she's a witch? Because she's made of wood. It's a similar thing. Which I have to say, to his credit, Mark Inez, he posted them on his Instagram page, what he thought were the best ones. But I think he's been set up as a bit of a, just because he's the director of, media, online media, sent out to say that stuff. Just a bit.
Well, it was sincere. I saw the video, and I
he did a good job.
Who I thought was being sincere, and I just, it was bizarre. And if I don't know if anyone, or if everyone in the chat has seen it, someone's probably bound to have it somewhere on their channel.
I'm sure. Yeah. But it was just. Yeah, I mean, well, he was, he did the corporate thing, which is not always what you want to do. But
what James is saying, James said that the managing director or the boss of Gibson should come out and say, look, admit it, hands up, we made a mistake, guys. That's just bad. Sorry, we're going back to making guitars.
Precisely my point. Absolutely. I completely think that's that's the it's this one. I found them. Here they are. Look. Can you see that? Is it in focus? Because they're made of wood. Now, as I say, to his credit, how do we know that other manufactured guitars are infringing our trademark because they're made of wood? Oh yeah, that's really cool as well. That's funny. With no headstock and a broken headstock. Even if it means suing him. Can you read that?
Yeah.
Believe in something, even if it means suing everyone.
What a cool bugger.
Well, this is what he posted on his Instagram page. Can you see that? Not authentic, not authentic. Only the Strat is authentic. Which I think is very good. Oh, yeah, it's the one with the broken headstock.
Yeah. That's a good one.
But I think it's, he must have known it would cause a a storm of thing. But I think you're right. I think who made the Phil McKnight, I think, made the point, or somebody else, that actually the CEO should be sending out messages like that, not the director of comms. Director of comms would sort out what to do, but actually JC Curley needs to stand in front of a camera and do it himself, as if he's the head of the company.
Well, JC needs to come out and say we made a mistake.
Oh, he does completely need to come out and say we made a mistake, for sure. That was the wrong thing to do. As I say, I don't think it enhances what Gibson do in the slightest. I think it just makes a storm of protests and stuff. And people feeling, people who did. I'm the guy from Thomann, Guitar Geek, Andy. I mean, he made a video from his holiday saying, "I feel a bit cheated." That's not what was presented to me in the interview I did with him on behalf of Thomann. Big European, shop, massive European shop. He did an interview with JC. And it wasn't like that at all, and it had no indication that no indication that of that at all. And obviously, I think there are people who've interviewed him and stuff and got an impression about what he wanted to do with Gibson that has been, they're feeling rather sort of angry and disappointed by it, really, which I think is a mistake. I think it's a publicity mistake. What's a Kubrick lover saying? Keith Richards' guitars must be worth untold lots of money if he passed away. He says thousands of guitars. Well, 3,000.
Apparently, he's got 3,000 guitars.
and only two hands.
Yeah,
it's a tricky one, that, isn't it?
What is it? 5 strings.
5 strings. Only 5 strings. 2 hands.
And 1 a-hole.
You said it, not
me. Yeah. Keith, he's a legend.
Absolutely, yeah.
We didn't get to talk about Eric. We'll have to talk about Eric next week.
I'll talk about Eric next week. Sorry, I was really interested by the Oxbox thing, and I have a much clearer idea about how it works now. What you actually need to do. So thank you for that.
We don't script anything.
Public information.
We don't script anything, man. This is
yeah.
This is guerrilla YouTube.
Guerrilla YouTube, where tangents are the script.
That's correct. And if we've not veered off the track, it hasn't been a good show.
If I haven't gone off somewhere, it's not a good show.
That's right. If we've stuck to script, it's been boring as shit.
If we had the time to write a script, which we haven't.
But maybe we should give some people some John Smith. That's not very nice.
Fighting one side. It's only 6 strings, John. I can't do 5. That's too few for me, and I don't understand 5 strings.
So what's the homework for people in the chat? What are we going to talk about, Clapton? What's some homework that people can do for next week's show?
Well, I mean, we were going to talk about sort of the the beginning of his solo career, out of Delaney Bonnie into the first Eric Clapton record and into Derek and the Dominoes, which we kind of arrived at. We spent a lot of time talking about Delaney and Bonnie and the band influence and all that last week. This week we've discussed none of it, but yeah. I mean, I've got to pick up on Kubrick lovers. The book, Leo, he's talking about a book about the rivalry between Leo Fender and Les Paul, and saying it was interesting, but wasn't that great. But Leo Fender stole a little of the design for his guitars from another guitar maker. I saw the guitarologist. You know, he made a video, and he was demonstrating that bookend, that open book headstock
Yes.
thing. Yeah, he
Yes.
showed a mandolin from 1840 or whatever it was, that had an open book, headstock. It's like nobody. Orville Gibson did not invent that. He got it from somewhere else. Face facts.
There's nothing new under the sun, Simon.
This is mine. No, it isn't. No, so is not. And as soon as you start digging into that, you realise that they ought to get off that. And Arvin's here. Hello, Arvin. How you doing? Nice to see you.
Hey, before you go, I just want to show you guys something. I've been having a conversation with John Smith about. I just want to show you guys some. So this is Trade Me, which is like a New Zealand eBay.
Yeah.
Channel. So if you have a look there,
Ooh,
so this is the 1960s Black Beauty. Do you see the price there?
39,000. Is that New Zealand dollars?
Yes.
Wow.
And here's another one.
Is that £20,000? Yeah.
This is an R9 2019 60th anniversary that a guy in my hometown is selling.
A mere $20,000.
Our friend John Smith said it's cheaper for me to go to America to buy one.
Come back home. I'd have thought it was way cheaper for you to do that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the New Zealand to the to the US dollar?
That's crazy money, Simon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Somebody's decided that I'll because I've got a captive market, I can charge a lot more than I'd like, but seems a lot.
That's crazy.
Anyway, I'm afraid I need to go because I need to take one of my children to school.
No problem. Hey, good to see you. I look forward to when we can talk Clapton next week.
Yeah. We'll try and we'll attempt to attack the Clapton next week.
And I'm going to do a quick shout out to everyone: Tone Bolts, Gussie, Chris, Kubrick Lover, Arvin. Good to see Arvin.
Yeah, Kubrick Lover too. Thanks very much for dropping in. Very cool. John Smith.
Cheeky
boy John Smith.
Cheeky monkey.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. And anyone else that we've missed, thanks for hanging out with Simon and I.
Chris Link as well. Tone Bolts. Yeah. Cool. Thank you guys for hanging out. It's been really cool.
And we'll catch up with you next week.
Lovely. All right. Take care. Bye all.